All right, going live for the first time on the page. I do have a plan to change the name of this page. Facebook doesn't like my suggestions, so I don't know. They've turned me down already once, so we'll see. I'm afraid to ask again because I feel like if I ask again, they might, I don't know, put me in Facebook jail, something like that. On my other screen, I'm trying to make sure that I am actually up before I start with my fun little presentation. I would like to do this regularly. I do. Oh, I am up on the screen. Yay! So weird to see myself. A little delayed, but I would like to do this regularly. Oop, there was my volume. Gotta put me on mute. Yay! I would like to do this regularly, maybe once a week. That may be a bit of a stretch, but I'm okay with a little bit of stretching. So, but I would really like to kind of have like a subject every week to talk about and share with you guys and get your feedback. So this week, my topic is going to be a goal without a plan is just a wish. I really like that sentence. I mean, I feel like it really applies. You know, you can set a goal and wish all you want, but sometimes it takes a little bit of help, and sometimes that help is from people around you. Sometimes it takes being a part of a community to get some other advice or help. So I just realized I don't think the big camera's on, but that's okay. I'm not going to let it stop me, right? Can't wait till everything's perfect and to start, because if you wait till everything's perfect to start, you'll never start. Just like this live, or just like trying to lose weight, or like one of my goals is to get Power Up, which is what you're kind of being a part of today with this live video. One of my mini goals is to get Power Up turned into an incredible group that transforms lives on a daily basis. And it's happening. We're making some major transformations. But I'd like to go broader. I'd like to help more people. So hopefully you can help me with that. So anyways, the harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you achieve it. I do believe that's very true. I have my own personal journey. I have my own personal story. And some of you know about it. Some of you that actually know about my story probably don't know everything about it, but I have worked very hard to get where I'm at. I have had many struggles, many battles, many blood, sweat, and tears, and gave up many times and started over. So hopefully many of you can relate to that. But anyway, so about me, I meet people struggling every day with feeling confident, not loving their bodies, not understanding where to start or how to lose weight, trying every diet and failing. But I'm passionate about helping people that desire change. They want to feel better by helping. I want to help them reclaim their health through making better food choices, knowing what foods to choose, and helping them become more active, and also managing their stress and creating an action plan, which you need. You need help on all of this. Losing weight, or losing body fat, I prefer to call it, is a struggle. And it's not just simply eating right or eating a certain way. There's so much more to it. So, and that's what I like to help with. So today I'll just cover the outline really briefly. Make the commitment, set the goal, prepare and plan, scale, measurements, and photos that having to do with your body composition. What's your why? And we could probably dive into that deeper on another day. I'm just going to kind of touch on it. What are your fears? What are your motivating factors? And then also how to get accountability. So it's kind of the outline. But if you're on right now live, be sure to tell me where you are. Tell me the city and state that you're in. If you're watching this on the replay, just comment below, say replay, so that way I know who's watching this. Give me a little idea. Also tell me where you're at, even if you're watching the replay. I'd love to know where this video goes. So interesting how social media can go to all corners of the earth. So, but also if you find value in this video, if you would share it, either on your page or to a certain individual, or even feel free to tag them. But if you share it with them, I'm sure they'll see it better than if you tag them. So setting a weight or fat loss, I prefer fat loss is my terminology, goal is tough. How much do you need to lose, and how do you calculate that number? That can be really difficult to come down to. And can be dependent on the individual, can be dependent on how you go about it as well. So your goal, most of us approach a weight loss goal by choosing a number based on maybe how we used to weigh, or maybe it's a dream weight. When I hear people say that they want to reach a goal weight of something like maybe what they weighed in high school, I always look at them and go, okay, so maybe they're in their 20s or their 30s or their 40s and they want to be the same weight they were when they were in high school. My first question is, but do you have more muscle than you did when you were in high school? And most people say yes. Not everybody, but most people do. But our bodies are different, definitely much different than they were when they were in high school. I weighed probably maybe 118 pounds, 117 pounds. It was tiny in high school. Yeah, I had pretty athletic build back then, but nowhere near what I have now. I look way better than I did at the time, and I weigh 134 pounds. So in no way, shape, or form would I ever want to be 117 pounds. I would be pretty scrawny. I like my curves. I like my body. I love my body. So anyway, so make a commitment. A long-term fat loss or weight loss does take effort. It does take a long commitment. Make sure you're ready for permanent changes, and in doing that for the right reasons. So when I say permanent changes, it's not going on a diet. You don't want to go on a diet. Who wants to go on a diet and suffer? Who wants to miss out on stuff that's going on around their lives, right? You don't. Nobody does. Nobody wants to diet. And then what happens when you diet? When you diet, there's an end. There's an end. And then what do? You go back to eating the way you were? Well, what's going to happen? You're going to gain it all back. So that's not the correct way. And actually what happens if you do those crash diets and you diet really hard, really fast, you're losing muscle along with it. And then if you're gaining weight back, you're not gaining muscle, you're gaining all fat. So actually it's worse. And then your metabolic engine is smaller, which in turn is going to make it harder to lose weight. So it's not a good plan. Diets are not a way of going about things. There's so many out there. The egg diet is back now. So the egg fast, I'm seeing it all over Instagram right now. It's got its own hashtag, but I don't mind eating eggs twice a day, but I won't eat it more than twice a day. I'm sorry. And I don't like eggs. But so focus. To stay committed to your weight loss or fat loss goals, you need to be focused. It takes a lot of mental and physical energy to change your habits. And in my Facebook community, it was even posted today about the mental part of losing weight. And it was something that stated to the effect of it being part of the game. No, I think it's most of the game. The mental part encompasses so much. All the things that go through your brain and trying to talk you out of things. And yeah, I mean, your body and your brain are going to signal you to not do anything new or different. Your body and your brain, they're going to signal you to stay safe and comfort in what you know and not try new things. So life and stress. So as you're planning to go about your fat loss related lifestyle changes, make a plan to address other stresses in your life. So things such as financial problems, relationship conflicts. While these stressors may never completely go away, managing them better should improve your ability to focus on achieving your healthy goal. Once you're ready to launch your fat loss plan, set a start date. So make sure things are kind of calmed down in your life. You're not starting a weight loss journey when you're extremely stressed out. It never ever ends well. It usually ends pretty quickly. So the stress in your life needs to be manageable. Now we're not, again, never going to get away from stress completely, but definitely don't start your weight loss journey, fat loss journey, if things are a chaotic mess. It's not going to work. Okay, so find your inner motivation. No one can make you lose weight but yourself, right? You must undertake the new lifestyle and exercise changes to please only yourself. So, what's going to give you the burning drive to stick to your weight loss plan? You might need support. Support is crucial, I think. Again, with going back to the mental stuff, there's so much going through your mind. Every day it's like, oh, I don't want to go work out. It's cold. I'm tired. I didn't get a full 8 hours of sleep. I feel a little sore, or I feel this, or I really need to get this work done. I mean, the excuses not to go work out is enormous. I have them every day. Every single day I have excuses. So finding the support is critical. And something that I can offer to you to provide support is joining up the Power Up Basic group. It's filled right now, I believe, with over 700 people that will listen to your feelings and your concerns and cheer you on for whatever weight loss goals that you have. You can post your questions, you can post your comments, you can post your goals, you can post your challenges, you can vent. Let us cheer you on, let's support you. So this group can offer you accountability, which can be a strong motivation to stick to your goals. And then we also have Power Up Premium, which is a step up from there. We have monthly goals, prizes that you can win, and much more. So anyways, back to goals. Choose a modest goal. So if you're wanting to lose some body fat, your goal might be modest in the way it might be just 5 or 10% of your current weight. So with easy math, if you're 200 pounds, that might be just 10 to 20 pounds. So sticking to smaller bite-sized goals in a certain window of time is probably the best plan versus really big goals saying I want to lose 40, 50 pounds. Just focus on the small goals because big ones are they're long, they take a long time, and can oftentimes seem difficult and hard to reach. So setting the modest goals is probably a great idea. So another one that I often get is wanting to achieve a certain clothing size. So maybe you want to fit into a certain size jeans, let's say size 10. The problem is there isn't really a set weight that equals a clothing size, especially for us women. Clothing sizes differ quite significantly with clothing companies, types of fabrics, types of shapes and patterns and so forth of that nature. It's just clothing size is probably not a great tool, or it's probably not detailed enough. So I have some suggestions. But first, I do like this quote. Self-worth should not be determined by or dependent on the number on the scale. I'm not a fan of the scale. I have about 20 or so members in Power Up Premium. It is a paid group. It's $39 a month to be in the group. Again, I run kind of a monthly challenge where you get to win prizes and you get to win extra time in the group for free. But one thing that they all know and I stress to them is not to get on the scale. They do have to get on the scale at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month. And again, I don't like the scale. I don't like the numbers that read on the scale. It's not accurate. It changes day to day. But it is a tool. It is a measurement. And so they do have to get on the scale once a month. So at the beginning of the month or the end of the month, whatever whenever they end up doing it, pretty much everybody does it at the end of the month. So that way it's done and over with. They get on the scale, take the measurement. What it is, actually, they take a photo with a feed on it and send it to me. And that's it. Don't get on the scale the rest of the month. But the scale is actually better at helping you maintain your weight than it is helping you lose it. The reason is there's important changes happening in your body that the scale can't measure or detect. So weigh yourself and record the scale weight no more than once a month. So there's daily weight changes. Your weight can fluctuate up to 5 pounds on a daily basis, even if you weigh yourself at the same time. This means that you may find your weight goes up, down, or stays the same, even if you're actually losing body fat. Weighing yourself daily is more harmful than good. So don't expect to lose 10 pounds in a week, because even if you do, it's not going to be body fat. Losing muscle, again, like I said earlier, is not good for your health, and you will want to preserve as much muscle as possible. Frequent weigh-ins will only break your momentum when you, don't get the desired readings that you think you should be getting. Instead, focus on the numbers. Instead of focusing on the numbers, focus on sticking to your set goals. Pretty much, I think the biggest key is having a good day, having a good on-point day, drinking all your water, eating all your meals, getting your workout in, getting your sleep, journaling, trying to get the stress out of your mind onto paper, get it off your plate, just keeping life in balance. Focus on that. Just focus daily on achieving all of that. That's a lot. That's truly a lot, especially if you're not used to that kind of a lifestyle. If you're used to just kind of rushing through life, living on coffee until 2 p.m., which is what I used to do. I used to not eat all day, not even nothing. I would leave the house with coffee and more coffee, more coffee, and more coffee, and then eat a granola bar or some candy that was left in my drawer. And then maybe a run to take the deposit, and I might swing into Taco Bell or Wendy's or McDonald's. And then I'd go home and cook a giant meal and mashed potatoes and gravy. I'd go through an enormous amount of butter on a daily basis. It's embarrassing. Now I don't even have butter in my house right now. And my daughter every once in a while is like, "Mom, can you get butter? Because we have no butter." And I somehow forget. I don't know. It's not on my priority. But weight can fluctuate for us ladies. So the time of the month, if you feel heavier and bigger at certain times of the month, you're definitely not paranoid. A woman's weight tends to fluctuate due to our hormone changes. So high sodium intake. We don't typically eat the same foods every day. Not everybody. Every once in a while I run into somebody that does, and they're fine with that. They're not a big foodie. They don't like flavor. They just eat just to survive or whatever. It is rare, but there are those type of individuals. But small changes in our diet prior to stepping on the scale can impact the readout. So what you eat yesterday will definitely impact the scale today and maybe even tomorrow. Sodium is a big one. If your diet one day is full of salty foods, this can cause water retention and thus increase the number on the scale for several days. Sodium is good. Salt is good. Sodium bad. Salt, certain kinds of salts, like I just personally switched to Himalayan. But sea salt's good also. Just be very cautious and know where your sea salt's coming from. Water retention is another factor that'll move the scale. So the amount of water in your body affects your scale weight, and the numbers can go up and down, depending on whether your body is losing or retaining water. Many people believe that drinking water makes them weigh more because it causes water retention. However, while water retention does indeed add weight to the scale, drinking water actually helps prevent water retention rather than cause it. Just make sure you're not drinking more than 20 ounces in an hour, because that's about what your kidneys can process in an hour period of time. So I do recommend 120 ounces all day long, but you need to space it out throughout the day. Bowel movements, another topic. There's a lot of diet teas and potions out there that will simply make you poop more. And if you're not having a natural, healthy bowel movement every day, you will for sure see the scale move up. It's important to have 1 to 2 bowel movements for your overall health. Me personally, I choose OptiGreens 50. Keeps my gut health incredible. I have a pretty high protein diet, and in order to keep things healthy and moving clearly, I need to have a good amount of probiotics and digestive enzymes, and OptiGreens 50 is incredible. That's only 2 of the major benefits of that supplement, but if you want more information on that, let me know. Weight fluctuation can be from carbohydrates. So if you love bread, pasta, rice, and other starchy carbs, the weight gain you've seen on the scale may be related to your carb intake. For every gram of carbohydrate you consume, your body retains about 3 grams of water in order to store the fuel source. For that reason, if you eat very high carbohydrate meal, your body weight is likely to increase due to the water weight, not because of the increased fat. So as a bodybuilder, there are things that we do to get the best results that we can on the stage the last week before a show. And some of that, because I'm a natural bodybuilder, some of that involves carbohydrates. And I know for a fact, like right now where I am, because my first show is March 30th. So my diet most days is pretty high protein and extremely low carbs. Not every day, but most every day. And I will go through this peaks and valleys between now and March 30th, just manipulating my body and trying to lose a little bit more body fat. But that last few days, I carb up. And prior to carbing up, I mean, I look at my body in the mirror and I look flat. I look not flabby, but I look flat. Like my muscles are just they look now, like they're not nearly as full as they normally are. And it's because of my diet. And like I've said before, when I look at people in the gym, I can definitely tell pretty well what their diet is. But for me, I look at myself and I know my shoulders are bigger than this. I know that I have more volume than this. But again, that last week, I do a little bit of carb manipulation, which means I add more carbs into my diet in a systematic way, and my muscles fill out. And it's a beautiful thing. You don't notice that typically if you're just kind of eating whatever and don't have a plan. But if you kind of play around with it, you'd be surprised at what your body does. But this is factual. The scale will definitely move for me going through the little carb manipulation. So, and it's not recommended to do that unless you have someone helping you and you have a goal that you're trying to meet. So, body composition. Your weight is important. Even more important is how much muscle you have. When you exercise, you gain muscle. You raise your metabolism and lose fat. But that fat loss won't always show up on the scale. Again, I don't like the scale. Where it will show up is in your measurements. So how your clothes fit and how your body looks, all that happens even if the scale isn't moving. Because I have that happen quite a bit with clients that I work with. They'll message me and say, I'm really kind of surprised. I only lost 3 pounds this month, but my clothes fit differently. And people are saying things to me. For me, when I lose weight, I lose it first in my face, or when I gain weight, it first goes into my face. Definitely, it's people notice it pretty quickly. In certain foods that I eat, my face will get poofy as well. But so that might be some of what people are noticing. But with the clothes fitting differently, it could very well be that you're gaining muscle. especially if you didn't work out hardly at all or have any movement prior to a new plan. So yeah, measurements would be good. It isn't something that I have my groups doing currently, but it is something that I've thought of. The challenge runs with pretty much everybody has a scale or has access to a scale. Like I have a couple clients that don't own a scale, which is fantastic, and they have to weigh themselves at the gym, which works, but not everybody has the fabric measuring tapes. So that's kind of where I don't push that. But measuring your body is probably one of the more accurate ways to keep track of your body composition through a fat loss journey. So, but there are many other techniques out there, and people talk about body fat percentages, and I kind of roll my eyes. I'm not a real big fan of the different devices and the different things, unless you're going underwater and you're going in one of those big machines. I just don't put a lot of value in them. And the reason is I've had my fat percentages checked, and I do not believe that they're accurate at all. I mean, I can have them checked by the same person, the same device, in the same day, and it'll be 10% different. So I've never put a lot of weight into that. But if you do have a fabric tape measure, it doesn't hurt to take your measurements at the beginning of your journey or wherever you are on your journey once a week, I would suggest. So in order to do that, the measurements would be on your bust line, which would be right across your nipples all the way to the back, your chest, which would be underneath your breasts, your waist, which would be the highest part of your hip bones and around, your thighs, the fullest part of your legs, your calves, which would be the fullest part of your calves, and your upper arm, above your elbow, the fullest part. So those would be the measurements that I would suggest taking once a week and tracking them. Progress photos are a must. You'd be surprised at the differences you'll see in progress photos. In Power Up Premium, I have my clients take pictures once a month. And it's not too often that I do comparisons because I want a good amount of time to go by to really see the differences. But you know, if there is a good move on the scale for a couple solid months, it's fun to see the photos side by side, because quite often you won't personally see the difference, but because you see yourself every day in the mirror, you kind of see yourself all the time, so you don't even see. Even if people are saying, hey, you've changed, your face looks different or whatever, you're losing weight, you might be like, I don't feel like it, because you see yourself all the time. But photos are great. Photos are incredible. So what I recommend is choose a place in your home that is well lit. It needs to be in front of a plain wall or a plain door. I recommend a light colored door or a wall. The less clutter in the background, the better. A swimsuit or some sort of form-fitting workout clothes like a sports bra and shorts would be best. You need to show as much of your body as possible. And that you're comfortable, but make sure you're smiling in the photos. This is a journey, especially if you're starting from the beginning. You want to look back on these photos and kind of giggle, you know, and kind of be proud of where you've come from. So smile, say, hey, I'm starting this journey today. I'm happy, I'm proud, I'm doing this. Because there is going to be a point in time that you're going to have these transformation photos, and you're going to want to put them together and say, hey, this was me before and after, and you're smiling. So in both of them. I wish I had that photo. And to be honest with you, before I started my fitness journey, I hated being my photo being taken, period. And now you look at my Instagram and it's all pictures of me. So it's all selfies or photos of me. But prior to my fitness journey, I did not like my picture taken. I took pictures of my kids. I took pictures of my pets. I took pictures of everybody but me. So I don't have a lot of photos of me. I do have one, and I posted it in Power Up Basic a while back. But it's a kind of like a backside view, and it's, you know, so I wish I had a picture that I was posing like a normal person would pose. But anyways, I do have another photo in mind. I'm fully dressed in kind of a business casual suit, but that I could use for possibly a transformation photo, but I don't know. But anyways, I wish I would have had these photos. So make sure you smile. You can use your cell phone. One of the things that I suggest to my Power Up Basic group that I require photos from is set your phone up, set it up somewhere, lean it up against something or set it on something and have it where, you know, you can see yourself in the whole screen. Make sure that your head is at the top, your feet are at the bottom, and set it on video. Actually, so set it on video first and then back up. Make sure you're still in the whole screen. And set it on video and do some poses. Do a front pose, do a back pose, do a side pose. And what you can do is turn off the video, and as long as you held those poses for a couple of seconds, you can screenshot those views. So you don't need to have your children take your photos, which, believe me, I used to have my kids take my photos and they hated doing it. They hated it with a passion. So you don't have to wait for somebody to be home and be patient enough to take your photo wearing little to nothing. So, but that's what I do. And then save those photos in Google Drive. Don't save it on your phone, because phones end up getting broken, stolen, lost, dropped in toilets, who knows, you know. So save it in a safe place, because those are good. Those are great and come in handy. So the next part of today's lesson, and I promise not to be super long. I actually have a meeting in about 45 minutes that I've got to get to, but you really need to know what your why is. So make a list of what's important to you to help you stay motivated and focused, whether it be an upcoming event, a wedding or a celebration or a vacation, or maybe you have an overall health that you need to achieve by a certain date. Then create multiple reminders in places that you're spending the most of your time. So in moments of temptation, you have these notes or these tokens or these items that will remind you. And it could be just a lucky coin. It could be, you know, you could put a coin in your pocket every day, especially for men. You know, you can have this special coin in your pocket and just rub it, you know, in times of temptation or times that you're, you know, a little bit challenged, and, you know, have these brownies or cookies or candy bowls or whatever. I mean, everywhere you go, like I got my windshield replaced, and I mean, it was just riddled with chips and cookies and soda and even energy drinks. And I was just like, really? And there's nothing healthy here at all. But anyways, you know, have things around you daily, especially in the times that you really have a lot of temptation, that you can count on. It could be something visual, it can be something you touch, it can be something you smell, like aromatherapy. It could be all kinds of different things, but something that engages your senses and reminds you of why you're on this journey. You can also post an encouraging note to yourself, a sticky note, maybe on front of the refrigerator, like, hey, good looking, or in the pantry, or you can have it on your screen for your computer. You can have something typed out to yourself on your phone, and you read it to yourself that's positive and reminds you of what your goal is. So just some ideas. If there's any questions, please feel free to post them. I do have double screens going on here, so I can see who's on. And Miranda, hi. And Rob, hi. But feel free to post your questions, and I'd be happy to answer them for you if I can. But when you're creating a goal, you need to be realistic. It may seem obvious to set realistic fat loss goals, but do you really know what's realistic? Over the long term, it's best for you to aim for a pound a week. Generally, to lose 1 pound a week, you need to burn about 500 calories or consume less than 500 calories a day through basically a calorie deficit. And that's, you know, again, dealing with food and physical activity. Both combined need to be about 500 less a day than what you've been doing. So what's important to you, and what measurement will you use to get your fat loss goals? So one of the things I do suggest is creating a SMART goal. And the key to setting a fat loss goal is to set a goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and tangible. I think you've probably heard of SMART goals before. I think most everybody has in some form or fashion, but it applies to your fat loss goals as well. So being specific, a goal includes, well, let's use this for example. A goal is to exercise more. That's not very specific, but a goal to walk 30 minutes every single day is definitely specific. So you're declaring what you will do, how long you'll do it, and when you will do it. So make sure it's specific. Like, I don't want to just lose weight. Say I want to lose 1 pound per week for the next 12 weeks. Be specific. Know your goals so that way you don't waver when those little thoughts go through your mind and try to talk you out of eating that salad. You'll know, like, no, I've got this weekly goal that I'm trying to achieve. Again, it kind of goes back to the day, nailing the day, having a really good day, and celebrating that. All right, so measurable is if you can measure the goal, then you can determine how successful you are at meeting the goal. A goal of eating just better is not measurable. So a goal of eating 1,200 calories a day is measurable. A goal of riding your bike is just not measurable. So a goal of riding your bike for 30 minutes, 3 days a week is measurable. So you can plan that out. You can look at your calendar for the week, starting on Sunday. Which 3 days am I going to ride my bike? Where can I fit that 30 minutes in? That's measurable. All right, so continuing with the SMART goal, you want it to be attainable. An attainable goal is one that you have enough time and resources to achieve. So, for example, if your work schedule doesn't allow spending an hour at the gym every day, then it won't be attainable, right? You can't do that. However, if you can do 2 30-minute workouts during the week and then 2 1-hour workouts during the weekend, that might be attainable with a busy schedule. So if a particular exercise such as running is physically impossible for you to do, then running wouldn't be attainable, right? So don't put that on your goal. Maybe biking is better. Maybe walking on the treadmill would be better. So that covers attainable. Realistic is the next part of the SMART goal. So creating goals that are realistic and consider your current circumstances. So if it's realistic to lose 1 pound per week, don't set a goal that calculates to losing 3 pounds a week. This is basically setting yourself up for failure from the start. It's not attainable at all, or realistic. All right, so the last of the SMART goals would be time limited. So create a goal that has a deadline. For example, if you want to lose 10 pounds, circle a finish line on the calendar and strive for that. Giving yourself a time limit can motivate you and get started and stay on course. So perhaps choosing a date 12 to 14 weeks out would be a good idea to lose 10 pounds. Giving yourself some flexibility and if there's any setbacks, because life happens. Life gets in the way, always. Guaranteed. So if you find this video useful and you think anybody that might get some information from this or enjoy it, or you've been telling them about Power Up Basic and you're just like, I don't know how to communicate this any better. I don't know how to get you to come aboard. I love this group. It's amazing. It's incredible. Share this presentation, this live video, and you never know. Maybe they might find it interesting enough to join Power Up Basic on Facebook. All right, so do you really need to lose weight? Go all the way back to the basics and start figuring out if you really, really need to lose fat. Everyone is unhappy with their body. Trust me, everyone. I personally have things that I'm improving on. Everybody does. We all have things that we're always trying to fix. It's like a dog chasing a bone. It's a never ending cycle. Um, if you talk to anyone, they'll probably find you will probably find that we all feel like we need to lose weight. Even people who appear to be very healthy. Society, often weight loss goals are based on what we think we should look like rather than what's reasonably right for our bodies. Like the social media world is out of control, right? You know, these girls or guys even take photos and they're posing and they're this. But the ones that I really like is the ones that take a picture of themselves posing. Maybe they're twisting, they're flexing, they're pulling everything in. And then they have a side-by-side photo of the very next minute where they're just kind of sitting naturally and just relaxed. You know, it's significantly different. It's significantly different. So we're kind of coming to the end of my lesson today, but here's some things I'd like to have you do. Write down some of your fears. What are your fears that you might have when losing body fat? You can post them in comments if you feel brave, or you can just write them down. You know, get a piece of paper and think about all the fears that you have, because we all do. And I can give you some examples that, you know, may not come to mind right off, but here are some common fears that people actually have that they battle in their mind. The fear of the unknown. You know, going into a journey, losing fat is kind of scary. It's very unknown. You kind of need like help. You need guidance. How do I start? What do I do? I mean, it's a lot of unknown. So that is a big fear. Another one would be, I might look different and in not such a good way. I might actually even look older. So that sometimes is a fear that holds people back from going on their journey. Another one would be, I'm afraid I might lose a friend, or maybe even a group of friends. Maybe these friends are ones that go out and eat with you weekly. Maybe you're afraid to lose those friendships because you might not want to go out to froyo or ice cream once a week, or maybe go get a large popcorn once a week like you always do at the movie theater. I don't know, but that is a fear. Another one is fear of going out with friends not being the same, kind of the same thing. You know, when you're on your journey, you start to look at things a lot differently, and you'll tend to kind of want to avoid situations that might make it difficult. That does slowly get easier, but at the start, it's really hard. All those temptations are really hard to say no. I myself, a couple of weeks ago, went to the movies and I had my husband on one side and some other stranger on the other side of me, just scarfing down popcorn. And my husband, I was like, really, you're going to get popcorn right now? Anyways, because it's something I actually do enjoy. And I know it's really, really bad for you. But I was at a point, you know, I have a show March 30th, and I just did not want that temptation. It was very difficult. So I sat there and counted backwards from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Probably 30 times, but it worked. It got me through it. But I had to sit there and really, really focus on me and my goals and what I want to achieve. And it's probably a little different for me than some of you. Like, I have to get on stage and practically wearing hardly anything. And when you do that and you know that date's coming and you know that there's 20 other people that are going to be on stage with you, and you're sitting there thinking, okay, I have this popcorn, I could start and eat it right now and I'll probably be okay. But I know those other 20 girls are not eating popcorn right now. So that's what keeps me going. And that's kind of the concept of Power Up Premium, is to get a group of individuals that are wanting to achieve a small goal, a monthly goal. And you know, you all are competing for the prizes at the end of the month. I understand not everybody is driven by prizes, but some of you are, and some of you enjoy it. And I make the prizes completely anonymous. You have no idea what you're getting in the mail. I don't tell you guys, but that's what it's about. For me, competition drives me. So it works. Some other fears would be afraid my friends might mock me. That's a really, really big one. Any kind of change in your little friend circle, your friends are going to pick up on it and they're going to probably pick on you about it. Another one that is really common is fear my spouse won't support me. That one is huge. It happens a lot and frequently, I'm afraid. And a lot of it is your spouse is afraid of change. They don't want change. And your kids are going to be the same way. And so for me, it was a full solid year of me going through my fitness and health journey before I had my family on board. So I would cook what I needed to eat for the night in bulk. And then I would cook stuff that I knew they liked. They liked their rice-a-ronis. They liked their mashed potatoes. They liked their whatever. But it was only one thing. Like I would cook rice, like gobs. I'm not a really big rice fan, but whatever I was, I would make something extra that had lots of butter or whatever it is that they were used to. And so for a full year, I did that. And then I started noticing that they weren't even getting it anymore. Like they would get smaller and smaller portions. And then over time, I was like, why am I even making this if you guys aren't going to eat this macaroni and cheese? And so I think what it was, and you guys could ask them, but it was seeing mom change. I was feeling better. My skin was amazing. I looked great. I have 2 teenage daughters. So I had a booty, and they wanted that. So same with my husband. He started to go, I don't really want so much anymore. So they start, it does shift. It does take time. And I'm not joking you. It took a year. So be patient. And I wouldn't make sudden changes in your family's diet. I do suggest cooking food, healthy food for you, and then one extra something else, and then see how it goes. But don't be tempted to eat that whatever, the stuffing or whatever it is, mashed potatoes. But crazy, shocking changes in your family, you probably won't get supported by the others because they're not ready to make a change. But they will change. Trust me, it just takes time. My youngest, she lost 40 pounds in about an 8-month period when she came aboard, and she was the last to come aboard. So significant changes. She made astounding changes. She had high blood pressure at the age of whatever she was. I think she's 16 now, so she was probably 14. They were talking about putting her on high blood pressure medication. So for me to get healthy was so much more than just for myself. It was for my entire family. So afraid others will feel betrayed or jealous. That's kind of the same factor back to spouse and your friends. That is a natural reaction. And it's something that maybe a topic I can use for the page in the future. I have a lot of suggestions for that. Fear of new unwanted attention. That can be scary for women. For the fact that, like me, like I have a whole bunch of, I didn't take pictures of myself before because I didn't want attention. And then all of a sudden I'm posting pictures of myself and it does stir up some unwanted attention for sure. Afraid of failing. If I'm skinny, I will find true love. If I'm skinny, I might become successful in my career. That actually is a fear of some people. Some more would be fear of giving up what's uncomfortable or easy. Habits are hard to break, and pretty much that's what it is. Everybody has a habit, like what's easy, what's subconsciously easy that I can just go about my day and not have to think about eating every 2 to 3 hours. It is uncomfortable. It is hard to get used to, trust me. But after 2 weeks, it actually becomes really easy and your body will tell you, hey, it's time to eat now. Afraid to lose that nighttime comfort food after a hard day. Yeah, that's a really big one. You'll have to find things or ways to replace that, and it can be done. Like the snack security blanket is another one. Whatever that is, it might be a different time of day where you're triggered by stress that you normally eat or snack or whatever, drive through. Drive through Starbucks and grab your big, whatever, frothy, fancy drink. I used to drink caramel macchiatos like every day. Add all the sprinkles, add all the syrup. That was 9 years ago. I haven't done it since. But I will tell you, if you put the caramel latte first form protein powder in coffee that's not too hot and stir it up, it tastes so good. It reminds me of a caramel macchiato every morning. And I had one today too. I had a meeting today at noon, and I needed to get another meal in. So what do you know? I bring my little powder in a baggie. So some more would be social anxiety preventing you from joining a gym, judgment or acceptance by those that are already at the gym. Hey, nobody really cares about what you're doing. Trust me, they don't care. Will people look at you? Yeah, they're probably looking at you because they want to use that equipment, or they want to be in that place where the mirror is, or whatever. But who cares? You're there, own that space. You paid the same amount of fee as they did. So what? They're going to have to wait. And they're not judging you. Believe me. If anything, the coolest thing is to be at a gym for a period of years and go through a transformation, and others go through the transformation alongside you. It's like a bond where you don't even have to talk to one another. It's kind of like this nudge, like, good going. Like, there's not usually a lot of dialogue there. It's support, and it's quiet and silent, and I love it. I've had many of those. Social anxiety, cover that one. So, okay, the last one is fear of embarrassment, afraid to put yourself out there. That's a really big one, I think, for a lot of people. So as you can see, your fears list can be really, really big. And you may not, by me asking that, you probably didn't even think of any fears. But after me reading those, you're probably like, oh, that's me. Oh, yeah, count me for that. So fears can manifest in many different ways. All right, so the next thing I want you to do is write down on a piece of paper, since I'm not getting any comments, which I hope this live is working. But what is your motivating factors? Okay, so you have a list of the fears. Now we need a list of your motivating factors. Your motivating factors, these are some that come to my mind, and I'm going to go through these kind of quickly. But motivating factors, and actually I posted this in Power Up Basics. So anybody that's watching this right now, you probably know that I posted this just the other day. What are your motivating factors? Tell me. So these actually came from that list, and I added a few. So wanting a healthy lifestyle, improved health, mentally and physically, joint pain relief, improved energy, reverse type 2 diabetes, or probably reverse pre-diabetes. A lot of us are walking around with it and don't even know. Longevity, wanting to live longer. Self-image, wanting to improve your self-image or confidence. Defy age. Stress reduction. Working out, increasing those endorphins will reduce that stress issues. Allergy relief. Somebody wanted to do a marathon or a Tough Mudder or other events. Improved sex drive. You bet it. You bet your bottom dollar. All right. Less illness. Less illness means missing less work or events or trips. Clearer skin. Hell yeah, you will get clearer skin when you clean up your diet. Keep up with our kids. Maybe play or accomplish things with our kids. Better mood. Your budget. If you know how to do it properly, it is easier on your bank account instead of driving through all those drive-thrus. Trust me. Adventure. So maybe you're wanting to go hike up a mountain or a hill or wanting to do things. You'll be able to do it if you get healthy. Stop snoring. That was one, and quite frequently a big complaint for those that do have a lot of excess body weight. Reduce your risk for cancer. Being obese, your chances of having cancer are significantly increased. Improve your entire family's health. That was one of my big factors. Wanting new friends. There are definitely so many possibilities to meet new people. Align yourself with some really cool people that maybe go to your gym or are part of classes or whatever you're wanting to join. Improved blood pressure. That one came up several times. Several people are wanting to get off of blood pressure medication. Definitely don't do it without talking to your doctor. Resolving digestive issues. That's huge. And I think one that a lot of people don't admit to. Squash depression. Improved fertility. That one came up a couple times recently. Enjoy food more. Learn how to cook. Faster recovery from surgery. That is enormous. You will, any kind of surgery, you never know, maybe in a car accident or whatever. If you are healthy, your body will recover significantly faster. Retail therapy is so much more fun when you can go shopping at the mall. Ditching the spandex. A lot of you ladies know what I'm talking about, the Spanx, waist trainers, all these different things that we do that are absolutely horrible and uncomfortable, but you won't need those anymore. You'll look sexy naked, and you'll love your body. No more kidney stones. Kidney stones are a real big one. I'm hearing that more and more as well. Healthy cholesterol levels. Getting healthy will definitely help that. Genetics can play a role as well, but you can get it under control. And you still might have to take medication, but hey, you'll feel better. And the other one was getting off of medication, which can encompass several things. And then the last one was traveling easier. So your motivating factors list must be greater than your list of fears. If they're not greater, then your chances of success are definitely less possible. So I think it is a really good exercise to write out all the reasons, your motivating factors, why you want to lose weight, why you want to lose body fat, why you want to get healthy. Know what those are and read them probably once a week, if not every day. So focus on the positive, create a list of your own personal motivating factors and read them daily. It's in my notes. Have them on your phone, on your computer, or say them to yourself in the mirror. All right, so coaching. What is coaching? What do I do, right? So coaching can be a bridge between your doctor and your future. It can be someone that guides you, because your doctor, you see them how often? Once a month, once a quarter, once a year. Do you ever go to your doctor? But if your doctor tells you need to get healthy, your doctor tells you you should lose weight, you should do this, you should do that, here's some pills, and then you don't see them, right? You need someone in your life that is talking to you regularly, whether it be daily, weekly, whatever, bi-weekly. I definitely think weekly at minimum, to help you reach your goals. Someone you can talk to that says, hey, I had a really rough week, but I'm going to start over tomorrow. Where do I need to start? And then, someone that gives you a map and says, here's where you need to go. And there's no, they're just there. They're there for you. They talk to you and support you, and no judgment. Coaching is essential to reach any large goal. I have a coach. I talk to a coach every Friday at 11 a.m. It's a business coach. I've had 3 fitness coaches over the years, all of them very different, all different styles, different techniques. Learned a tremendous from them. All of them I had more than a year. One of them was 18 months. So it's critical to have somebody in your pocket to help you. So my call to action today is join our Power Up Basic free community. It's incredible. Some amazing people in there doing some incredible things. You just kind of join and see. I always post topics in there that you can learn from or engage in or have fun with. You can post your daily workout. Monday through Friday, I put workouts in there for the gym or for the home. But even better yet is Power Up Premium. Enrollment for Premium is only the 1st through the 7th. So there's only one more day basically to enroll in it. And it is $39 a month. But for the whole month, you get involved in a little mini challenge. The top 3 people get prizes sent to them in the mail. And they also get longer access for free. So first place gets 3 months free, second place gets 2 months free, and third place gets another month free. There's additional exercises and education in that group. I have a weekly topic. I offer some information on supplements. I do a live video in there as well, kind of similar to this. And I have tools in there such as a grocery list. Plus, I also give everybody a Google Drive folder consisting of food journals that I check on twice a week. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. And the people in there are really engaged this month, and I'm so excited to see what happens. Also, something else I have for just a short period of time left is a sign up for a meaningful conversation with me. This meaningful conversation can consist of about an hour where I ask you about your goals, what you want to achieve, and I am going to pick 2 people from those meaningful conversations to go on a 90-day journey with me. We'll talk once a week, and we're going to get to your goal. We're going to smash it. It's what I call the 90-day transformation. It's kind of fun. I'm really excited about it, but 2 people will be chosen. It's worth $1,400. So next week I'm going to start setting those conversations up, and there's a link on this live video that gives you the information on how to sign up for that. But you'll have to fill out a quick little form about you. There's several questions that I ask, but definitely sign up for it. And yeah, so I'm going to do those, schedule those meaningful conversations next week and announce the 2 lucky winners. But if you did find this video valuable, again, please share it or tag somebody that you love or care about. Today we covered making the commitment, what's your why, get the support, create a SMART goal, what are your fears, and what are your motivating factors. Remember, your motivating factors must be greater than your fears for there to be a good success. If you missed any of this, feel free to go back and watch the replay. And just for closing, I just need to say that in case nobody's told you today, I personally believe in you, and I'm here for you and would be honored to help you reach your fitness goals. And I sure hope you would consider joining Power Up Basic if you're not already in there, which you probably are. And in that case, if you are, thank you so much for being a part of that community. It means a lot to me. It's taken off much grander than I ever thought it would. Been encouraged to do it for several years, and I'm like, oh, what do I know? What do I know? I don't, that's no. But I've actually really, really, really enjoyed it, and I want to take it to a higher level, and I'd be excited for you to be a part of that journey with me. So, all right, guys, I have another meeting to run off to, and I hope you enjoyed this. Share the love, share this video, and you have a great night. Bye.